Good morning everybody, my name is Jessica and I'm from the channel Bedazzled. Today I will be making this tutorial of my zigzag flower cup bracelet for Potomac Bead Company. I made these two bracelets in two different ways. I made the components in the same way, but I made the attachment in another way. I will be showing you both ways of connection, and the materials we will be using for this project are the round duo beads. In each component I'm using 3 of these round duos. I'm going to be using the Aztec Gold round duos for these. Next we will need the 2 H bars. We also need 3 bars in each component, and you will be needing something like between 7 or 9 components depending on your wrist size. This color is the matte metallic flex, so we will be using these also. Then I will be using the flower cups. I'm using 1 in each component, and this is the color White Red Luster. I'm gonna be using a cup button as a clasp. You can also use any clasp of your choice, of course, but I will be using this in the color Topaz Capri Gold. And we will be using some 11 seed beads, and these are Miyuki seed beads, the Crystal Magic Copper. I will be using some Fireline 0.12 millimeter. This one comes from my local fishing store, but I will be using the color Smoke. I have a size 10 beading needle, and the length of wire for the middle components is roughly, I take the tip of my wire and I just roll until I'm a little bit over my shoulder. For the components where you will be adding your clasp, I take a little bit more just to have some extra wire to be attaching my clasps. So in the first step we are going to pick up 3 of our round duos. I'm going to bring them to the end, but I'm going to leave a considerable amount of thread, so let's say at least 15 inches of thread, because we will be using that end thread to attach our flower in the middle. And then I'm gonna go up, and let me see if I can get my camera to focus. Yep. I'm gonna go into the same holes of my beads again. I'm gonna hold on to my end tail, and I'm gonna pull my needle through, and that they form a nice little circle, and just like that. And this time I'm gonna tie 2 knots. I'm gonna tie 2 because I'm gonna pull my knot into my bead, but I do want room so I can go through there one more time, just like that. So we are coming out in the middle here with our knot, and I'm gonna go into my bead right here, and I'm gonna pull my knot in there. I'm gonna step up in the top hole of the same bead, just like that. And we are going to pick up 1 11/0, 1 bar, and 1 11/0. And I'm going to go into the next top hole of the next bead and pull that wire through. I'm going to repeat that. So 1 11, 1 2 H bar, and 1 11. And I'm going to go into the next top hole one more time, an 11, a bar, and an 11, and we are going to go into the hole right there. And now I'm going to go through all my beads again, just to make sure that my project is keeping its shape. So we're going to go into the 11, the bar, the 11. I'm going to go into that round duo again, into the 11, the bar 11, into the round duo. Now I've made my round, and I'm going to go into the 11 and into the bar, and that's where I'm going to come out, because this time we're going to step up. So we are going to go we are going to go into that top hole here of the bar bead, like that. My cat is scratching on the door. I locked them out because they like to jump on my beading material, so when I'm making a movie I don't really like that. Anyway, we are gonna pick up 3 11 beads, and we are gonna go into the top hole of the next bar, and we're gonna do that again. So 3 11-0s into the top hole of the next bar, and just one more time, 3 11-0s into the top hole, and I'm gonna go around these beads one more time. So into the 3 seed beads, into the top bar, actually in the top hole of the bar, into the seed beads, into the bar, and just like that. We are coming out of the top hole of the bar here, so we're going to pick up 1 11 of seed bead, and we're going to go into the lowest hole of the bar, so actually just in the opposite side. So we're coming out of this side, and we're going to go into the next one. We are going to move into the 3 seed beads, going to the next bar, and we are going to repeat there what we just did. So we're coming out of this hole on this side, we're going to pick up 1 11-0, and going into the opposite hole, picking up 1 11-0, and we're going to go into the opposite hole again. Now I'm going to do that one more time. So going into the 3 seed beads and into the bar, I'm going to pick up 1 11-0 into that opposite hole, and picking up my last 11-0 and into the bar. Now this time we're coming out right here on this side, and I'm going to go down in that seed bead that we added. I'm going to go back into the bar and into the seed bead behind there, and we're going to go into our round duo. We are going to pick up 4 11-0 beads, and we're going to go into that same round duo again. We are going to go into the first 2, and we are going to pick up 1 11-0, and we are going to go down the last 2, and I'm just going to make that same round again. So into the first 2, skipping the middle one and going down in the last two. This way we get that nice pointy edge. So if you would go into the middle one as well, you don't get that point, because then you pull your beads more in a round shape again. And in this project I really don't want that, so I'm skipping that bead. We're going to go back into the round duo, into the seed bead, the bar, the seed bead, because we're going to move to our next round duo. So into those two and into the round duo. We're going to pick up 4 and we're going to go into the round duo again, and we're going to repeat this. So we're going to step up 2, picking up 1 and going down 2 into the round duo, pulling. I'm going to go into the first 2 seed beads, skipping the middle one and going down in the last 2, and back into the round duo, into the 11-0 bar, 11-0, and into the round duo, only the round duo, just like that. And we're going to do this one more time. So picking up 4, going into the round duo again, only the round duo, not the seed bead behind there. I'm gonna step up 2, adding 1 seed bead and going into the round duo again. I'm gonna go up 2, skipping the middle one and going down 2, going back into the round duo, and for now I'm gonna leave my wire just like that. I'm gonna put a needle on the other end of my wire, and we're gonna attach our flower in the middle now. There. So we are coming out here, because here in this bead we pulled our knot. I'm just gonna go into the middle of those 3 beads, and I'm gonna come out just here in that big hole in the middle. I'm gonna take my flower cup, I'm gonna go into my flower, and I'm gonna pick up 1 11-0. We're just gonna let that drop down. We are gonna skip the 11-0 and we're gonna go straight into the flower, and we're gonna come back in the middle and pull. We are gonna go into one of those beads in the middle holes and back down into the flower, going through the 11-0 and back down again into the flower. And we're coming out here in the middle. We're going to go into one of those middle beads again. It doesn't matter which bead you take, as long as you can go through there with your needle, it's okay. And into the 11-0, and we're going to go down. Now I went through there 3 times, that's more than enough. My bead is not going anywhere. Now this time I'm gonna try to find because we made 1 step up already, and I don't want to be making more thread passes than necessary, so I'm gonna step up in the same bead and now I really can't find it. Yep, I found it. So in this bead I pulled my knob, so I have that thread pass right here. It's just a detail, but so I'm gonna go into that middle hole, and I'm gonna come up in the top hole. I'm gonna go, now I hope you can still see it. So I'm coming out right here in this hole, and we are gonna just follow the beaded path. So I'm gonna go into that seed bead behind there, into the bar, and I'm just gonna reinforce my project now by going through those passes that we made here one more time. So I'm gonna go up in that bead into the bar. I'm gonna go down in that other seed bead next to it, and I'm gonna go back up in the bar bead, and we're gonna go up in the seed bead, I'm gonna go into the bar, and in the 3 seed beads that are behind here in the middle, going into the bar, I'm gonna go down that seed bead, I'm gonna go into the bar again. And actually what I'm doing is in the first place just reinforcing those thread passes, and I'm just actually working away my wire because I don't really like to tie knots, and I won't tie knots if I don't really have to. So by making these many changes in direction and yeah, sewing in a considerable amount of thread, I'm sure my project is not going anywhere. And yeah, that's actually what we want, right? That our project is strong. And now my thread is starting to be really short, so I'm just gonna go into my bar. Yeah, I already pulled it out. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I can easily cut it here as well. So I'm just gonna take my thread and cut that end piece off. So this is our component, and I'm gonna take the other components out for a minute, and then we're gonna go connect the different ones together. So as you can see, I made my connections in the middle. Here I'm using the pedals to be making the connection, but to make my clasp and my loop, I chose actually to connect them right here onto the 2H bar and not use the pedals, because that way you need to make a calculation that your bracelet is in such a way that your clasp is facing the right size. So that's actually why I chose the option to be connecting them here in the middle. So how are we gonna attach our clasp? So I'm coming out of the seed bead that's right behind the bar here, and I'm gonna start with picking up 5 11/0s, and that's 5, like that, and I'm gonna go into the seed bead right behind the bar, into the bar and into the seed bead that we're coming out of again, and I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna go up 3 seed beads, like that. Now to make our loop, I just picked up it's 23 seed beads in this one, but it can be a bit different depending on which seed bead you're using and how thick your button is, but you just need to make sure that your seeds loop fits around your button. And I just picked up the amount of seed beads I needed and go back here into that bead that we're coming out of right now. So I'm gonna show you fast. So I'm just gonna grab some seed beads on my needle, and I went back here into that bead like that you get like the loop. Of course you're gonna be needing a lot more seed beads. Then I went through that same loop a few more times, and yeah, that's actually all there is to it. So I'm just gonna show you fast to attach the button. So I'm gonna, because it's actually in the same way, I'm gonna put my needle back on there. So I'm coming out of the middle one. I'm gonna pick up 2 seed beads, and then my clasp, or my button, and 3 more seed beads. And I'm gonna let that drop down. I'm gonna go into the other hole of my button, and picking up 2 more seed beads, and I'm gonna go into the same middle one in the opposite side, like that. And now to reinforce that, we're gonna go back up into those 2, into the first hole, into those 3 middle ones. Hope I can grab them in one time, and back down into the other hole of the button. I'm gonna go down those 2 and into the middle one again. Now I would go down there, I won't make the same pass one more time, but to save some time I'm just gonna show you how I finish it off. So I'm gonna go down those 2 beads, and I would make the same passing here in that first circle that we made, and then I would go just try to work my way up again to get rid of my wires. So I'm going into the seed bead, the bar, and the seed bead. I'm going to go into the round duo, and I do need to say it gets pretty tight in those holes, so I'm just gonna go back 1, because I actually want to come out of the bar. When I'm coming out of the bar, I can step up here, because that's already a path that we made before, and I'm gonna do the same like I did before, working away our other wires. So I'm going into the seed beads on the sides of those bars, just yeah, to make the same thread passes one more time, to work away my wire and avoid tying knots into my project. Just like that, up again, and through those 3 seed beads, down the seed bead, and when I'm all the way around, I'm just cutting off my wire. So that's how I attached the clasp and work away my wire. Now I'm actually at this end now, so I'm gonna show you here how I made the first connection. So I'm just gonna work my way down there. Right here. So again, once more, I'm coming out of the seed bead behind the bar, and this time I'm gonna pick up 2 11-0s, another bar, and 2 11-0s, just like that. I'm gonna take my next component and I'm gonna go in to the seed bead behind the bar in the opposite direction, into the bar and into the seed bead behind there. So when I pull, you have something that looks like that. Picking up 2 more seed beads, and I'm gonna go into that other free hole of the bar. Yeah, my memory card ran full, so this side we picked up 2 11-0s, a bar, 2 11-0s. We went into the 11-0 bar 11-0, picked up 2 11-0s. I went into the other hole of the bar, and I'm gonna pick up 2 more 11-0s. And I'm gonna go into the 11-0 behind the bar, into the bar, and again the 11-0 behind the bar, just like that. Pull, and this is the first connection. So I'm gonna go through my beads one more time. Into the 2 11-0s. Actually, what we're just doing here is reinforcing our project. Gonna go into the 11-0, into the bar and the 11-0. So we're actually just making the same thread passes that we did already. And again, just like that. So this is the first way of connection. Now, to connect your other one, you need to connect this one right here. Let me take another piece out. So you would connect that one like that, and then you would put the next one right there again, that you get that zigzag pattern. And to work away your wire, you would just do the same as we did before. So making sure you're coming out of a bar, going up and going around those middle beads. And to make our last connection, so to make the connection that I made right here, we are coming out of the round duo, and I'm gonna go up into the first 3 seed beads. So this time in the connection here, I am taking the middle bead with me. I'm gonna grab a second piece already. I'm gonna pick up 5 11-0 seed beads, and I'm gonna go into that middle seed bead on one of the opposite components, and I'm gonna pick up 5 more seed beads. I'm gonna go into the same point that we came out of, just like that. I'm gonna go up in 2 seed beads, I'm gonna skip this middle one, and I'm gonna go in the next 2 seed beads and pull my wire. And as you can see, this seed bead is sticking out, just like here in the petals. Gonna go into that middle one, and I'm gonna go do the same here. So into the first 2, skipping the next one, and going into the 2 behind there. I'm gonna pull just like that, and I'm gonna go through there one more time. Now if you feel that this square is too big for you, you can also do with 3 seed beads instead of 5, also doing the same thing, skipping the middle seed bead. Maybe it's just easier that I show you fast how I'm gonna put my needle on the other. So I would pick up 3 seed beads and go into the same. I'm just doing the same thing, I'm only using lesser seed beads. Like that, and I would go 1 bead up, skipping the next one, going into the next bead, into the middle one, into the next one, skipping that middle one, and into the last one. And if we, sometimes you need to help your beads in place a bit, and if you pull your wires, you get the same square, just a little bit smaller. So I actually did the same, but I get a little square instead of a big square. So these are 3 ways of connection now. So you have a small square, a big square, and just the normal connection. It's all up to you what you like the most, and the working away of the wires is the same in all the ways that you use. Actually, just go up into the bar and make your round and just cut your wire. That was it for today, and I hope you like it, and I will see you soon in the next tutorial. Bye bye!